Hello, hello. You're muted. Laura, you're muted.
So my speaker's going in and out, so hopefully it will last. If you lose me again, then I apologize. I'll find you guys again. I think this is going to be a really great meeting tonight. I'm really excited to have Janet speak and watch her trailers, and it's going to be a good meeting. Thank you everyone for coming tonight. We're going to wait probably another 5 minutes and just have a chance for people to come in that are maybe a couple minutes late. So hey, hi Janet. Yeah, I already told Joan if I cry when she shows the Ormond clip that no one's allowed to laugh at me. She said she couldn't promise anything. So we'll see. I can't help it. I'm an emotional person. That's all I can say. It's just, yeah, Joan's crying. Joan's already crying. She's laughing and crying at the same time.
It's not emotion, it's passion.
It is passion. Yes, I'm an emotionally passionate person, which is like a double whammy.
That's why you do what you do and you work so hard.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Debbie. Debbie's our treasurer. She's checking in tonight. So we'll appreciate all the executive committee that's here tonight. We have quite a few people. So I'm looking forward to starting. We are recording, by the way. So if anyone has to leave early or there are people that wanted to see the meeting but couldn't tune in, it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel shortly-ish, as soon as I get it transferred over. And then, but this is cool. And you know, the really cool thing about being able to do this on Zoom is that Janet Bridgers is our guest speaker tonight, and she actually lives in New Mexico. So she's a transplant and from here in California. So the work that she's done in the documentaries that we're going to be able to see little bits of, and she's going to talk about, had to do with when she was here in California, but she's actually in New Mexico. So I'm really excited that I could not have done it on a different platform. So it's pretty cool. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start the meeting and I'll just talk really slow and we'll have a chance for everyone else to kind of catch up with us because I don't want to take time away from Janet's presentation. So thank you all for coming tonight. We have a really great meeting. And again, I'm really happy to be able to share our updates with our campaigns and our programs with you all. We have several executive committee.
Laura?
Yep.
I think Janet wanted to say something real quick. I saw her hand.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
I just want to say that it's not that we couldn't have done it, but it would have been much more expensive.
Right. This is
If I
true.
had to travel to California, which I've
Or
done
vice
many times
versa.
and I enjoy doing. But you know, in this era of COVID, it's not so attractive. Okay.
It's not as easy, not as accessible. We would have packed ourselves up and went to you. I think it probably would have been pretty cool to see you in New Mexico. So thank you again for coming tonight. We want to start tonight's meeting by acknowledging that the Surfrider Foundation Ventura County chapter operates on Venturino Chumash land. The first peoples of Ventura County for over 13,000 years are the Chumash people. This is their homeland for thousands of years, their homeland today, and their homeland into the future. They are here, they love Mother Earth, and we want to honor them. So, Cassie, can you do me a favor while I'm giving updates? Can you just check the waiting room, please? Make sure, because Bill's not, yeah, thanks. Bill's not here
Am I
yet, so.
co-host though? I don't think I'm a
Oh, can you
co-host.
not do that if you're not? Okay, hold on. Okay, that should be okay then.
Yeah. I'm
Oh,
good
here,
now.
here he is. He's here. So, but anyway, so if you could just do me a favor and just pay attention, that would be amazing. Thank you. So Janet, this is Cassie Rogers. She's our chapter coordinator. She's a staff member, and she helps us like make the magic happen here. So we really, really appreciate everything she does for us. So I don't know if everyone here subscribes to our newsletter, but if you don't, I think that it would be a really great way to keep updated on what's happening with events and programs and campaigns. And I think it's really easy to sign up. You can do it on our website. It's probably the easiest way to do it. And so basically I just plagiarized the website to give you the updates. So that way, if you don't have the newsletter right now, you'll at least be able to hear the updates. So we are definitely excited to welcome Janet Bridgers, an environmental activist and co-founder of Earth Alert. She's her organization is a 501c3 nonprofit. For over 30 years, Janet's been involved in coastal protection and preservation matters. As a filmmaker, she has produced several documentaries addressing local environmental issues. And tonight, Janet will be sharing a few clips about some of the documentaries she has made. One is Stories of the Spill, which is about the 1969 Santa Barbara oil spill, Heroes of the Coast, and Ormond Wetland Wonderland, just to name a few. This is actually a great segue into our event we have coming up. It's a virtual movie screening night on May 15th, which is the Hands Across the Sand event. It's an international coordinated day of action to say yes to clean energy and no to offshore drilling. So join us. We will be screening Janet's movie, Stories of the Spill. So Janet will be a part of the evening. Surfrider Santa Barbara, since Stories of the Spill actually happened, or actually the spill happened in Santa Barbara. And then Sea Frog, Citizens for Responsible Oil and Gas, will be joining us on a panel at the end of the movie. We can all talk a little bit about current events, what's happening, the current threats to our counties that our counties face from oil drilling today. So if you're interested in joining that, it will be on Zoom, and Cassie's going to put the link to the event in our chat shortly. So Debbie, are you here still? Maybe. So Debbie wanted to create this really wonderful literary work project for people, students and adults. And so what she's asking is for anyone that wants to write about your Blue and Green Planet inspired literary work. We're looking for creative poetry and prose submissions to publish in celebration of the environment. Submissions should be sent to treasure@ventura.surfrider.org. And you can find a little bit more about how to participate in that project through the information in the article in our newsletter. I wanted to let you guys know that our Earth Month membership and donation drive was a big success. We brought in over 30 new memberships, yay, and thousands of dollars were raised for our chapter, which is really great. And Bill just said something.
Bill just said he's having IT issues and he'll be back.
Okay, okay. Hang on one sec. So when we had the Earth Month contest, everyone that donated or that bought a membership was entered into an opportunity to win a really cool Yeti cooler. And who won the cooler was our longtime beach cleanup volunteer, Carl Rowe. And we're very excited, and he definitely deserves it. So that was really cool. One of the other updates I wanted to give you guys is that because it was a big Earth Month collaboration with other groups of people to do several smaller beach cleanups, on April 17th, we had volunteers at the Nature Conservancy property at Ormond Beach that picked up 3,000 pounds of trash. We had on April the 24th, in honor of Earth Day, we had our volunteers at Ormond Island that picked up over 1,200 pounds of trash. On the 22nd, Coastal Keepers picked up another 600 pounds of trash on the island. And now we're headed back to Ormond Island to pick up where we left off on May 22nd. So if anyone's interested in signing up, we have to have sign up still because we're under COVID restrictions for how many people we can actually have at the cleanups. So you can contact Cassie or myself to get the link to the sign up sheet. Cassie is info@ventura.surfrider.org and I am chair@ventura.surfrider.org. So thank you, Cassie. So I just want to talk for a minute to remind people that solo cleanups are really the way to go now. It's very easy to get out in your own neighborhood, pick up how much ever trash you want. You can document it through the Clean Swell app, and we can keep a record of the types of trash and how many pounds you picked up. We have also an opportunity to send photographs to beachcleanups@ventura.surfrider.org. If you're a student and you want community service hours, you can also email Beach Cleanups and get that certificate of completion. And Cassie, do you want to talk about the buckets and the grabber kits that we have now?
Yeah, sure. So we have a really cool new solo cleanup kit. It could be solo beach cleanup or cleanup in your neighborhood. Thanks to Kirby Subaru, they sponsored these kits, and it comes with a bucket, a collapsible grabber, which is way more convenient for storage than a full-sized one, a mask, some gardening gloves, and a few other little trinkets that you could use while you're out there cleaning. So if you're interested in purchasing one of the solo cleanup kits, they're only $20, and you can email me at my email. You can message me right now or DM us on social media, and we'll figure out a way to get it over to you. We're not shipping right now just because the bucket is really bulky, but if you're here locally in Ventura, then we can figure out a way to get it to you. We have some photos on our newsletter of what the solo kit looks like. So check that out.
Perfect.
I think I sent the link out earlier if you want to look at what the kit looks like.
Thank you. It's a really good fundraiser for us. It's practical for you guys too. That way you have your own buckets and grabbers or whatever and whenever you want to do a cleanup. So Julie Marcial is going to give us updates on the programs and campaigns that she is currently running.
Hello, everybody. First of all, I just wanted to jump in on Carl Rowe. I was really happy to see that he won that. He drives all the way from Las Vegas to come out and help with these beach cleanups. So he drives out for the weekend, does the cleanups, and then goes back to Las Vegas. He's just an amazing guy. So I was happy to see that he won that. Just real quick updates on the Hold On to Your Butt. Yet again, things are going really well with 100 plus that we have up around Ventura, the couple that we have in Oxnard, and now thanks to Joan Tharp, we have 9 up in Port Hueneme. We have a very active new volunteer that's trying to help us get going in Oxnard, but we really, in order for us to get a Hold On to Your Butt program going, we need volunteers in Oxnard. So if you know anybody that you can talk to, or if anybody's interested, the time commitment is maybe at the most 3 hours a month. That would be it. So that's what we're really looking for now, because we have the cans, we always want sponsors, and all of that information is on our Hold On to Your Butt webpage, but we need more volunteers because we have to maintain these cans, and we're kind of stretched right now, and we certainly don't have what we need in Oxnard. So that's on the Hold On to Your Butt issue. If you know anybody who wants to do that, or anybody wants to do that, just you can email me at juliemarcial@gmail.com. The second update comes with our plastic-free Ventura County. As you all know, we have a styrofoam ban that we got passed last September that will be going into effect on July 1st of this year. So we're really excited about that. The other thing that will be happening, Kathy Bremer and I are going to go after City Council again, but this time we're going to go after them to do the second half of that ordinance that we had drafted originally, which will get rid of hopefully single-use plastic and bioplastic foodware. And we're also going to jump into that. We're going to be putting some new things in there with this new program that's rolling all over the state now called Skip the Stuff. So in other words, it's going to be a situation with not only wanting the city council to ban these items, but we also want to get ordinance. I'm going to put an ordinance together that's going to add into that. People will only get these kinds of things, even if they're compostable upon request.
Nice.
So that's all going to be going together. We're going to go after the Ventura City Council on those issues. But Joan and I are now in the planning stages of getting ready to approach each of the city council members in Port Hueneme to start getting them going after them now to the city of Port Hueneme to ban EPS, plastic and bioplastic foodware, and get people to skip the stuff. So we're in the planning stages now. All that's going great. Yet again, we are always looking for volunteers. If you are in Port Hueneme, one of the things, or you go over there, whatever the case may be, we need more pictures around Port Hueneme of all this type of trash that we're trying to ban. We need more pictures of that type of trash. And then also, if you're in a restaurant down there, if you can kind of look around and let us know whether they're using styrofoam or if they're not, just send me, juliemarciel@gmail.com, the name of the restaurant, what you see they're using in terms of takeout items, just so we have an idea, because we want to be able to put a kind of comprehensive package together when we meet with each of the city council members. And again, thank you very much, Joan. She's been, spearheading this in Port Hueneme. She has the connections to start meeting with some of these city council members, and we're going to go after all 5 of them, hopefully over the next couple of months. So that's our update for now. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And Julie, your name is JULIMARCIEL@gmail.com.
That
In
is
case any
correct.
wants to send in photos or volunteer.
Right. No E on the Julie. You got it right there. Thank you very much, Laura.
You're welcome. And so Juan, you're out there, yes? Did you want to give us your Ocean Friendly Restaurant update?
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I just want to start by saying thank you for everyone who has taken the survey so far. For those who haven't, I can drop a link to the survey in the chat, but essentially it's a survey asking the community what type of which restaurant you would like to see become more sustainable. It's been extremely helpful in for us figuring out which restaurants we're going to go to next or start our conversations with. For instance, one of the restaurants mentioned was Barrel House 101, a few taquerias off the avenue. So we're excited to be approaching them in the near future. Another big thing is that the rollout of our OFR 2.0 it's going to be officially it's official by May 18th. On May 18th, we're going to be doing a Zoom meeting explaining how the new criteria changes. One of the biggest criteria changes is that membership is now optional. No, the membership fee is now optional. Excuse me. So we're excited to be able to use that as an advantage when we reach out to mom and pops or just local restaurants that might have more financial constraints. And yeah, so since we're hoping to really start reaching out to a lot of restaurants by September, we're hoping by then a lot of the codes and maybe the COVID restrictions will be eased down, and we'll be comfortable reaching out in person or just getting the dialogue going. So if you're interested in any of those things, you can contact me. I will put my email in the chat, and that's all the updates I have so far.
I have a quick question for the OFR. Excuse
Yeah.
me, are you guys still keeping that map up to date on where all the OFR restaurants are?
Map. I know National has a map of all the OFR.
No, we had a right here in like Ventura.
No, I haven't updated the map, so no. Yeah.
Okay, well that would be really helpful. I mean, you don't even have to update the map you touch, but I would love to know what kind of information you have in Port Hueneme and Oxnard.
Yeah, I don't think we have any OFRs in Port Hueneme or Oxnard at the moment. All of our membership, I believe, is in Ventura, or all of our active members. I'm not sure where the map is. Is it on our website?
We have an Ocean Friendly Restaurant web page, and we have Hollywood Beach Cafe in Oxnard, and we have the
Oh, excuse me. Yeah.
Embassy Suites Coastal Grill in Oxnard also. So, but we definitely kind of paused who was compliant because of COVID. There was so much plastic takeout utensils. Unfortunately, a lot of our OFRs defaulted to that, so we didn't want to put more pressure on them in an already stressful situation. So we've kind of like needed to let the dust settle. But no, Julie, the web page needs to be updated.
That'd be great when you do have that. Then we can work with that as well with both Oxnard and Port Hueneme. First of all, Port Hueneme, if anything comes up. So thank you.
Yeah. So thank you, Juan. So if you do want to attend the May 18th Zoom meeting to learn more about the Ocean Friendly Restaurant program, we will create an event on our Facebook page that will have the Zoom link. The Zoom link is also in our newsletter, that handy dandy newsletter we keep referring to. And also, if you do have any questions, you can reach Juan at ofr@ventura.surfrider.org. So on Saturday, May 29th at 10 in the morning, Ventura Water is, through their WaterWise Garden series, is holding a special class led by our Ocean Friendly Garden volunteers. Woohoo! So come learn about the fundamentals and benefits of an ocean friendly garden as you take a virtual tour to visit some of our OFG certified gardens around Ventura. You can also learn how to create your very own ocean friendly garden. We're going to have a PowerPoint presentation as well as the virtual garden tour. So if you want to register for the class, you would have to go to Ventura Water's WaterWise Garden Series website, and then you can register for it there. And one more thing, the California Coastal Commission approved modifications to the Surfers Point Managed Shoreline Retreat project at their April 2021 meeting. The amendments to the original permit reflect a revised layout of the parking lots and extend the cobble berm and vegetated sand dunes to merge with the promenade and recently constructed emergency revetment. Notably, the permit will also require electric vehicle charging stations to be installed in the new parking lots. At the meeting, the commissioners expressed concern over increased runoff from the proposed new asphalt parking lots and added conditions requiring a storm water management plan and water quality monitoring. More information on this critical ongoing project is available on the venturariver.org website. So I am really excited tonight. I'm hoping Bill has his IT problems sorted out and we are going to move forward. I'd love to introduce our guest speaker tonight, Janet Bridgers. She's the co-founder of Earth Alert. She's an activist and a filmmaker. We are going to, Janet's going to share with us 3 separate documentaries. She's going to talk about each one. You please feel welcome to put your questions in the chat. She's going to address the questions for that particular documentary in that moment. So we're just going to go from one to one to one. And obviously, if you think of something after, we can always work backwards, but still, feel free to put your questions in the chat and Janet will go through them after the each documentary is explained. And Janet, we really look forward to having you speak tonight, and we support all your efforts. And then you can give us your contact information at the end.
I support all of your efforts. I think everything you're doing is incredible, and it's lovely to see a real community centered environmental effort. It's
Thank
great.
you.
So let's see, I'm going to talk kind of fast just to give you some background about how these documentaries got started. I was living in West Hollywood, and a friend and mentor was Ellen Stern Harris. And the story was revealed to me through my friendship with her. She told me about the creation of the Coastal Act. And then when she was also very involved, she was one of the original Coastal Commission members. And has been called the mother of the Coastal Act. When she was also very involved in public access television. And she had, when her breast cancer metastasized, she suggested that I interview her in a public access studio. She could see that she wanted, you know, to help to record some of her, and believe me, she has a legacy that, you know, is extensive. And so she coached me through the initial experience of doing an interview in a public access studio. This was in the mid phase between, you know, originally television was only something, a very big production by a very big company and a very big studio. There were very few like documentary filmmakers. And so I was in the, now there are a lot because everybody can take their iPhone and make a movie if they want to. But I was in the mid phase in a period when public access was not uncommon. And it presented a great opportunity because it was a learning experience at any rate. So I interviewed Ellen Stern-Harris. And everything else has kind of forwarded from that. But Ellen was one of the, now we're going to switch to talking about the 1969 Santa Barbara oil spill. I was not in California at that time. I was in New Mexico. I was still a student at University of New Mexico. But what Ellen told me, and others have told me too, is that you've probably heard the expression, the crisis and opportunity, the Chinese symbol, the character in Chinese language for crisis and opportunity are the same. And in fact, that's what happened with the 1969 Santa Barbara oil spill. It was very damaging to the coast. The coast was fouled with this terrible black oil, asphalt grade oil for years. People would, there's even a song, you know, a Joni Mitchell song about getting beach tar on your feet. So it didn't just go away, but it inspired the environmental movement, not just along the California coast, but nationwide. It was one of several major events. The Cuyahoga River in Ohio catching fire was another one. Love Canal was another one. And the irony, the great irony, is that Richard Nixon had just been elected president in 1968. He was a Republican, but he was from California. And this was a time when bipartisanship and conservation efforts were not strictly the domain of the Democrats. So for a combination of reasons, through well, let's watch the clip now, and then we'll talk about what happened.
Great. And don't forget, this is the documentary we're screening on May 15th. So when you see the snippet Bill's going to show and you want to see more, please join us on May 15th. Or you can see it on your internet, but it's not as much fun.
Offices of the Santa Barbara News Press, the area's most widely read newspaper.
Late in the morning, we got a call, and it was a male voice. It said, "The ocean is boiling around platform A." And I started to ask questions, and this person said, "The ocean is boiling around platform A, goodbye." And I don't know to this day who that person was.
And in the area of my crab pots, there was probably 4 inches of oil on the water at that time. The weather was okay that day. Well, that night, the southeast wind brought the oil into Santa Barbara Harbor, and it came into the beaches and came onto the harbor and filled the harbor up with oil.
Once the black tide reached shore, news coverage was immediate. The spill, as it was more commonly called, was just a 2-hour drive up the coast from Los Angeles and was quickly carried by news media around the country and around the world.
So the Stories of the Spill documentary is just a half an hour long, and for those of you who are not already familiar with the story, I think it's a half hour well worth spending to give yourself a historical background on the history of the environmental movement on the Santa Barbara Channel, because we have one of the strongest, and I still think of myself as part of that we have one of the strongest environmental communities in the country. So what happened was it's amazing to us now that Richard Nixon, a Republican, elected in 1968, but from California, and he came and visited the area of the spill very soon, within like a matter of days, really, after the spill. And then he supported bipartisan legislation that led to the Clean Water Act, the Clean Air Act, the creation of the EPA. I may be forgetting something, but these are things that now we know it would never get bipartisan support in Congress. People said it was, he had political motives. Okay, fine, who cares, but that legislation is in place since the early 70s because of the Santa Barbara oil spill and Richard Nixon and bipartisan support. So what that led to, though, in California was that, and this was where Ellen Stern Harris, my mentor, became important, that there were threats in terms of development to the entire California coast. Now, Bill, let's just play the trailer for Heroes of the Coast documentary. Bill, okay. Bill, is this happening? Okay. The
seems to be there.
Yeah,
there we go.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
I believe
this is just the trailer. It's and the Heroes of the Coast documentary is an hour long.
The California coast offers incredible variety. Though many beach areas are accessible, others are off limits. In Southern California, with its dense population, most beaches are crowded, and some coastal towns are heavily industrialized and polluted. But even there, Bolsa Chica, a major wetland, has been protected. As you drive north, you see large stretches that are still open, undeveloped and absolutely gorgeous, like here in Carmel. In a state so rich and so populous, how could certain magnificently beautiful areas manage to evade development?
Are you okay?
In 1972, the world-famous California coastline was under attack. There were plans that could transform the length of the 1,100-mile shoreline, where oil companies wanted more offshore oil drilling, utility companies had plans for nuclear plants, and developers wanted more gated communities, marinas, hotels, and golf courses. When legislators in Sacramento failed to act to protect the coast, the people of California fought back. Heroes of the Coast, the documentary, brings you the story of a brilliant campaign over 40 years ago to save California's coast from total overdevelopment and to establish one of the strongest land use laws in the country. This is the true story of the heroic leaders who used heart, mind, and tireless energy to focus the will of the people to protect their right to enjoy the coast. Join us to learn and be inspired.
So, making a pitch for your time to watch this, what the documentary, the hour-long documentary, Heroes of the Coast, does is take you forward. It includes information about the oil spill, but takes you forward through until into the 21st century. And the California Coastal Commission and the California Coastal Act are singularly powerful legislation and agency for land use protection. Believe me, these things couldn't happen now. We're talking about the 1,100 miles of the California coast, which just happens to be the most valuable real estate in the world. So there's always, as people have said, there's always some billionaire who wants to have his own private section of the beach and prevent other people from coming. You probably have heard these stories over the years, but and it's always controversial. The Coastal Commission is always controversial, what they do, but it's the documentary gives you the history, and with that history, then your awareness of the news stories, which we just had one now from Laura about their decision with regard to your own local area. And I certainly urge you, when the Coastal Commission is in town, their meetings rotate up and down the coast. And when they're in town, and if you can, I urge you to just go and watch it. It's fascinating. And there's probably an issue that you can go up and make your public comments on, but then they're very receptive to public comment. It's singular in that way that there's always been an orientation of the Coastal Commission to public comment and public involvement. Now, that being said, we're going to have a few a short clip from Ormond Wetland Wonderland. This was not this was the third, maybe it was a second, no, anyway, whatever, documentary, and it's different in that it's based on an hour-long documentary or interviews with a wonderful wildlife biologist, and he told us, he gave us in great detail, because he is a wetlands biologist, details about Ormond Beach that we wouldn't know because we're not that informed. Could we play that that little clip, Bill?
Yeah, I'll bring that right up now. Sorry for the hiccup on the last one.
No problem.
They'll find a place where they can live as nature intended, amidst a landscape of marshes and wind-sculpted dunes.
When you think about it, with over 90% of our wetlands.
It's Steve.
Already destroyed and lost forever. The wetlands become more and more precious. And Ormond Beach is the premier wetlands north of Los Angeles, going up the coast here in the Central Coast. I mean, the premier wetlands, and it can support, it can be a vital support for the ecology, for habitat restoration.
Dan Pearson, a marine mammal rescue expert, remembers how Ormond Beach was in the 1950s when he and his family came to live in the area.
1954, moved here when I was just a small child. My dad was in the Air Force, and I was 7 years old. I think it was in September. And I had never lived on the coast before from Texas, and this was just fantastic. And so every day after school, you know, we're done with stuff, just go to the beach and wander up and down. And it was relatively uninhabited. It was just pure wilderness at the time.
So I'd walk down to where the old pier was, not far from where the new pier is now. And then I'd walk off towards Point Magoo. But as I walked down towards Point Magoo, I passed all this I guess I walked through an at least tern nesting area. And there were thousands of birds, thousands and thousands. I mean, the noise was incredible. And as I approached, they would take off, or some of them would do the dragging wing thing, you know, to lead you away from their nest. And when they went up above me, I mean, you could barely see the sky. There was just, I'm literally tens of thousands of birds on that beach that were nesting. I thought it was wonderful because the only time I'd seen anything like that before was on Walt Disney nature episodes. I thought, well, isn't this fantastic? You know, so you could see the little eggs and you could see the life and everything going on, and I thought it was just wonderful. And I had, I guess, an appreciation for it that perhaps most 7-year-olds wouldn't have. I don't know, but I was very much tuned into it.
Decades later, after the city of Oxnard's permitting decisions allowed the area to become industrialized in the 1960s, wetlands biologist Wayne Farron still found the area remarkable, but affected.
It was fairly early in my study of the West to visit the area, and I was impressed with its size. I was impressed with the diversity and with the impacts that were so obvious there. And yet, in spite of the somewhat profound effects that were visible, there was a resilience. And that, I think, is the story of Ormond, the fact that nature finds a way sometimes in spite of all the things that we may do. And so endangered plants and animals survive. And we have an opportunity to enhance this refuge to make it better.
Oxnard's industrialization of the area isolated the dunes and wetlands of Ormond from most human traffic and allowed the area to continue.
So, I mean, I'm really pleased to have shared these clips with you. There have been so many people involved. I'm the storyteller. I am not. There have been so many incredible activists, giants, on whose shoulders I stand to tell their story. And Ormond, you know, there's been like, what, 3 liquefied natural gas terminals proposed for Ormond, that there were the battles that have been fought over this little coastal wetland remnant.
Still being fought.
Right, still being fought. And it makes me so proud of all the people who have been involved and are involved, because it just really shows you that, you know, that people can love a piece of land that, I mean, it doesn't look like that great. It's not Carmel, is it? But when you understand the biology of what's happening there, it's so critical to protect it. So I think we might have missed some questions in the chat. If anybody has a question, put it. Can we expand the chats to see if there are questions?
Janet, did you want to talk about the other 2 documentaries that are on your website as well?
Well, very briefly. Okay, so it was through public access programs that I learned to shoot video and edit video. The first one, Sand, Sun, Oil, and Gas, is really eclipsed in terms of quality by stories. I later fired myself as a cinematographer and editor because I couldn't produce the quality that I wanted to. But the other remaining one of the 5 is about the Channel Islands as a maritime culture, going back to prehistoric times with the Chumash living on the islands and then being able to cross back and forth with Tumals. And then through the arrival of the Spanish and later the more recent culture. but it's just a half-hour documentary, and it would tell you more about ancient and another culture of Santa Barbara Channel, which is really such a remarkable part of the world. I don't hesitate to tell you, I think it's worth your investment in terms of time to watch the Channel Islands documentary and the Heroes of the Coast, just to know more about the history of the area where you live.
They all sound wonderful. Actually, I'm not sure if there's any questions in the chat. Did you see any, Cassie?
No, we haven't had any questions yet, but lots of support for Ormond and for the films. But if
So did you
has,
want to
did
you want to tell us how, like, your website address and
how
www. Donate? Yeah, they can donate to your.
Oh, that would be lovely. www.earthalert.org. And what you'll see is at the top of the website, what I was able to do with the use of public access studios is interview a lot of coastal heroes. And with grant money from some small grants from the Coastal Commission, was also able to transcribe them. And I think this is special because a lot of them have passed on now. So there is a historic record on the Earth Alert website of the stories of, and some of them are very entertaining. I would definitely recommend the interviews with Peter Douglas. We were got one of the last interviews with Peter Douglas before he succumbed to cancer. The interviews, oh God, middle-aged, okay, Don May is an amazing storyteller about people, himself and other people he has known, in the history of the environmental movement. Very entertaining. Dan Pearson interview is good too. So as a tribute to Dan Pearson, you might want to watch that one.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's one of the best things that I enjoyed about your documentaries is they are really not just informative, but they're really they're so interesting and entertaining too. So you're doing a remarkable job, Janet. We definitely have enjoyed them all, and on the 15th, then we'll be able to see the stories of the spill, and then the panel afterwards. I don't know if Sea Frog has some current concerns, and they do want to have a chance to be able to speak during the panel to help the community understand exactly what's going on. And I think it's a lot of onshore oil drilling concerns. I know Cassie went to a gathering that they had at Kellogg Park. Was it last weekend, Cassie? And they were, do you want to talk about what they were protesting? Not protesting, but creating awareness for.
It was a march for clean air. They're planning to expand. Oh gosh, I want to get their name right, but they're right there by Kellogg Park, and also by the elementary school. They're planning to expand this facility without having and listening to any public comment or listening to public concerns. And they really want to, they're really hoping that SoCal Gas and Edison, that they'll host a public hearing, listen to the community, especially given the proximity to an elementary school and to an already displaced area. It was a really great march, and they're actively, I'll put it in the chat, their website, but they have a lot of information out there about what's going on. And I know that they have another event coming up this month for public comments and for the public to get involved. So I'll try and find that real quick while we're talking so I can put that down in the link. But I know that Liz will also be able to talk at length about it, a lot better than I just butchered it. But yeah, it was a really great event. It was great to see the community come out, and it was all COVID safe.
Yay.
I want to just say, any company that is naive enough to think that they can just push a project through on the Santa Barbara coast without the full participation and of the citizenry, they are fools. One of the stories that we haven't really been able to tell adequately was how from Malibu to Santa Barbara, the people of the activists in the Santa Barbara Channel defeated BHP Billiton, the world's largest mining corporation, in the attempt to site a liquefied natural gas terminal off of it was triangularly off both Malibu and Ormond. And when they first announced that project, I thought, oh my God, how are we going to defeat them? But the fact is, Susan Jordan deserved a great deal of credit because she got so much going in terms of financial support. And then everybody worked very hard. The farm workers became involved. But in the end, it was John Garamendi and it was the State Lands Commission. The second man, I'm forgetting his name, and I apologize for that. But what an incredible experience to see the locals defeat the world's largest mining corporation, because we had the information prepared, we'd done the homework, and we came out. And then with these elected officials from California who had the authority, the ability, the BHP was so embarrassed and had their pants so far down after the State Lands Commission voted 2-1 to defeat the project. They were supposed to present to the Coastal Commission within a couple of days, and they were so caught off guard, they didn't even present. And the Coastal Commission, because they didn't present, had voted 12-0 against the project.
Wow.
But that's what has been done and what I believe can still be done. When you're effectively organized, I mean, I won't say it doesn't take a lot of work, but it can be done to defeat these people who have no concern other than monetary for our beautiful environment.
Thank you. I think Vince wanted to say something. Vince, are you out there?
I am. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Vince Kinch. I used to be the chair of this wonderful chapter 100 years ago. And I'm speaking on behalf of my wife, Cynthia Hartley. She's the executive director of the Ventura Audubon Society, and she's been involved personally in protecting the nesting areas at Ormond Beach of the western snowy plover and the California least tern for more than 25 years. VAS currently partners with Surfrider Foundation, the cities of Oxnard and Hueneme, and the landowners, and they're establishing a recovery plan for the beach. Laura's group, Surfrider, has been just an amazing partner in establishing beach cleanups. I think Bill Hickman and I started it, and we came up with something like 2,000 pounds of trash the very first year. We did this February cleanup, and Laura's just taken that torch and gone crazy with it. I think you're up to 10 tons total. More, it's just amazing.
We got 30,000 pounds last year alone. That's with COVID. That was with COVID.
That's 15 tons. That's amazing. Ventura Audubon, and we're always looking for volunteers to help protect these species. It's not over. It's a continuing fight. Laura knows this. Joan knows this. Cassie knows this. Bill knows this. So if you guys are interested, reach out to Surfrider, reach out to Ventura Audubon at their website, venturaaudubon.org, and look for some volunteer opportunities to help us out. It's a beautiful beach. These birds are amazing, and they always need some help. And that's all I got.
Well said, Vince. Thank you.
I wanted to also highlight Kathy Bremer corrected me because I think I butchered that pretty bad, but it was the SoCal gas compressor expansion by EP Foster School. So I went ahead and put the link for Sea Frog and their current campaigns in the chat if you're interested on that. And also Ventura Audubon Society is great. Thanks, Vince. Got to protect those little birds.
Yeah.
They're way too cute in those videos.
So with Sea Frog and Janet and Surfrider Ventura County and Santa Barbara on the panel after screening Stories of the Spill on the 15th, I think there's going to be some really relevant conversation to have, much greater, you know, as far as that one documentary than just tonight. So we invite you most definitely to tune in. The Zoom link is in the chat, I think, and then also too on our Facebook page. We're going to be promoting it next week, midweek probably. Thank you. I think is that it? Do we have any other questions? Any other comments?
I had a question for Janet, and I wanted to thank you for all the work you've done so far. It's just amazing to me. I could watch those videos all day, but I wanted to ask, what was the most challenging documentary to film, and what was your favorite, or were they the same? Which cause was like the most near and dear to your heart?
I think they're all related. So I wouldn't say, I couldn't really pick a favorite. But Heroes of the Coast was the most challenging because we were trying to weave together, well, the stories from 1969 through into 2011 is when we interviewed Peter Douglas shortly before he died. And so weaving that much information into 1 hour in a way that would be useful, you know, tight in terms of information. I think one of the greatest compliments, I'm not sure that any of them do it, but the Coastal Commission recommends to their new commissioners that they watch the documentary. Well, you know,
wonderful.
A lot of them don't come on, you know, with a great environmental perspective, I can tell you that, but some do and some don't, so.
Thank you.
Thanks. Spencer, did you have a question?
I had a quick comment, if it's okay for Janet. Just she mentioned about standing on the shoulders of other environmentalists, and it is us standing on her shoulders in the future. So I just wanted to make sure that she recognized that making videos and being a collaborator is just as important as starting it off as the founders and environmentalists and carrying that torch. So thank you. I learned a wealth of knowledge of the 805 today in our coastline. So thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate it.
I'm honored. I will say that the greatest gift of being involved in activism, and I'm not just saying just environmental activism, it's not the victories, because the victories are not often enough and they're very hard won, but it's the quality of people that you meet. And people, I had an experience, you know, in LA before I moved to Oxnard, and we were living in West LA, and Patrick, my late ex-husband, and I, and behind us there was this group of musicians, and they were really inconsiderate, and our neighbor had trouble sleeping, and they were loud and late at night. And then it was that when I discovered, you know, I'm not interested in coolness. I'm interested in people who are warm. And that's what I have found through activism. So I just urge you to share that with young people, that if they want to know, you know, really authentic, warm people, just get involved. Whatever it is they get involved with, get involved.
For sure. That's for sure. We have that here. I can tell you, we are very, very tight community here, environmentally speaking, and you know, in the Surfrider family too, here in this chapter.
You can see that. Thank you for having me. It's been wonderful.
I think that someone had a question. Who had a hand up? Oh, Joan. Joan, are you there?
I did. I just wanted to thank you, Janet. I've spent the last 2 years getting fully immersed in Ormond. I've lived in the area for 28 years, but have missed out on 26 years of being able to wander around on the beach in that wonderful area. Been helping Cynthia with the shorebird recovery program and Surfrider with beach cleanups. And I just cannot get enough of that beautiful area. And I would encourage anyone who can make it out there to check it out, to do so and to volunteer and come out and join us on our cleanups. And again, thank you so much, Janet, you and so many other people like Dan and Roma and people whose names now I'm forgetting have done so much for Ormond. And it's a real pleasure and a source of pride for me to continue in your footsteps.
Well said, Joan. Thank you.
Well, thank you. You know, I'm just honored to be part of such a great group.
What a mushy meeting. Yay.
Yeah.
I've gotten a little watery-eyed. I'm like a tear happening yet, but I'm
Dang it. I've been trying to make you
together.
cry. Been trying to make you cry, darn it.
I know your video's not on because you're behind your profile picture crying right now. So
Yeah, that's right.
You have a wonderful, heartfelt community here, Janet. If you should choose to come visit, you have to get a hold of us.
Hey, I will.
Okay.
Who's got a guest room? I'm gonna sign out with that
All
one.
right. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming today. It was really a wonderful meeting. We really appreciate you, Janet.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thank you, Janet.
Take care.